Good morning, students. Now, today we will start the next chapter in the third unit, Producers Equilibrium. Before that, in this unit, we have already discussed the production concept. Second, we discussed the concept of the cost. Now, today I will start the new topic, that is the concept of revenue. Now, after setting the cost, now the producer wants to earn revenue. So, first of all, what is the meaning of revenue? Revenue means the revenue of a firm refers to its sales receipts or its money receipts from the sale of its output. Or in other words, you can say that revenue refers to money receipts from the sale of output by a firm in a given period or the total market value of the output produced. That means whatever he has produced after selling it in the market, whatever the money receipts he is receiving, that is the meaning of revenue. Now, after that, let's start discussing the types of a revenue or the types or the concepts of revenue. Three types. First is total revenue, TR, average revenue, AR, and next one, last one is your marginal revenue, that is MR. So now, first of all, let's start discussing about TR. TR, what does it mean? TR means it refers to the total amount of the money that a firm receives from selling a given amount of its output, or you can say that TR is equal to the price of the product multiplied by the total number of its units sold. Price into quantity is equals to total revenue or the total amount of the money which the firm receives by selling its output. So you can calculate TR by multiplying price into quantity. Okay, now the next one is AR, that means average revenue. Average revenue, it means, now AR means it is the equal to the total revenue which is divided by number of units of the product sold, or AR is the revenue earned per unit of the producer sold. So AR we can calculate by TR dividing it by Q. That means AR is the revenue per unit of output sold. AR equals to TR upon Q. Now the third one is the MR. MR means MR refers to the addition to total revenue which results from the sale of an additional unit of output. That means one additional unit. Like MR is the change in the total revenue on account of the sale of one more or one less unit of the output. If one additional unit increases or decrease, how it is going to change the total revenue, that is marginal revenue. So MR you can calculate MR of N equals to TR of N minus TR of N minus 1, or MR equals to changes in TR upon changes in Q. Now the next thing is AR is the same thing as price. That means AR is the price of one unit of output, because price is always per unit of a commodity, and it can be proved like as if I said AR is the same thing as a price. Why AR is equals to P? This we can solve by this one. AR formula we know that AR is equals to TR upon Q, and TR formula is P into Q. So now let's put the formula of TR here. So TR is equals to P into Q upon Q. If Q and Q is cancelled, so that means your AR is equals to P. So the same thing is there, that AR is the same thing as a price. Now the next topic is relationship between TR, total revenue, average revenue, and marginal revenue. Table we have to prepare. First of all, output is given from first unit to 8 unit. Then TR is given 5, 15, 30, 40, 45, 45, 40 and 30. MR we can calculate by with the help of a TR. Same AR also you can calculate. AR equals to TR upon Q, and MR is equals to TR of N minus TR of N minus 1. So 5 as it is, then 15 minus 5, 10, 30 minus 15, 15, 40 minus 30, 10, 45 minus 40, 5, 45 minus 45, 0, 40 minus 45, minus 5, and 30 minus 40, minus 10. Now AR, how we can calculate AR? TR upon Q. TR upon Q, so 5 upon 1, 5, 15 upon 2, 7.5, 30 upon 3, 10, 40 upon 4, 10. In this way we have divided TR upon Q, TR upon Q. So we are getting the value of AR. Now first of all I am going to explain you the relationship between TR and MR. Now first see the table TR and MR. First of all you can see that TR is increasing, reaches to its maximum point, and after that it starts diminishing. MR also you can see, first of all MR increases till the third unit, 5, 10, 15. That means MR increases till the 3 unit of the output. After that MR starts diminishing, it reaches to the 0 point, and after that MR becomes negative. So same thing we are going to show in the diagram also. After that in the TR and MR relationship you can see, first of all TR increases with the increasing rate because MR is also increasing. After that third unit of the output, after 40, 45, 45, that means TR increases with the diminishing rate 10, 5, 0 because MR is decreasing. So TR increases with the diminishing rate. After that you can see at the 6th unit of the output, TR is the maximum because MR is 0. And after that reaching to its maximum point, TR starts declining and MR becomes negative. Same thing we are going to show in the diagram also. Here also you can see, first of all, when MR increases, in the first portion we have shown you the diagram of a TR, then we have shown you the diagram of MR. Now both are related to each other. First you can see when MR increases till this point, your MR increases till the C point, MR increases. So TR also you can see in the first portion till point A, TR also increases at an increasing rate. So that means in the diagram MR increases from point O to C up to the OQ level of the output. Accordingly TR also increases at the increasing rate from point O to A. This is your first relationship. Second point, when MR decreases, now from point C you can see the MR starts diminishing. So when MR decreases but it remains positive, still it is positive till the point OQ1, your MR is diminishing, it remains positive. So TR also increases with the decreasing rate. So in the diagram between Q to Q1 a level of output, Q to Q1 level of output, MR decreases but remains positive, and accordingly TR also increases at the decreasing rate from point A to point B. Now the third point, when MR reaches to 0, that means when MR is 0, here at the Q1 level of the output you can see this MR is 0. So TR is at the maximum. MR is 0 and TR is the maximum. Same thing is shown in the table. MR is 0, TR is at the maximum. In the above diagram, in this diagram, at the OQ1 level of output, MR is 0 at point, we will put the point at point D, and TR is also maximum at point B. Now the fourth relationship, when MR becomes negative, here you can see now MR becomes negative and TR also starts decreasing. So in the diagram, beyond OQ1 level of output, MR curve lies below x-axis, indicates the negative MR, and accordingly TR also decreases. So basically 4 points are there in the relationship between TR and MR. That means first of all, when MR increases, TR increases at the increasing rate. Second point, when MR decreases, when MR decreases but remains positive, TR increases with the decreasing rate. Third point, when MR is at the 0, TR is at the maximum point. And last point, when MR becomes negative, TR also starts decreasing. This is the relationship between TR and MR. Now the next relationship is there in between MR and AR. Now first of all, see this diagram. MR curve, we know it increases rapidly, reaches to its maximum point, and then starts decreasing rapidly, reaches to its 0 point, and then becomes negative. This is the quality which we have read in the relationship of TR and MR also. And the second curve is AR, which increases slowly, reaches to its maximum, and then declines also slowly as compared to the MR. Now understand the relationship. First of all, AR, this curve is AR. So AR increases as long as MR is higher than AR. You can see here this one is your MR curve, this one is your AR. So MR is greater than AR over here. So your first point is AR increases as long as MR is higher than AR. Second point, AR is maximum and constant when MR is equal to AR. At the point E, you can see here AR is the maximum and constant, and at this point MR and AR both are equal to each other. Third point, when AR falls, this one is your AR curve, when AR falls when MR is less than AR. Now this one is your MR which is less than AR, so it is written over here MR is lesser than AR. Fourth point, MR increases and decreases more rapidly than AR. As compared to AR, MR increases also more rapidly and decreases also more rapidly than AR. And the last relationship is MR can be 0 or can be negative, but AR always remains positive. That is why AR curve remain above the x-axis, and MR curve can go below the x-axis also. So this is the relationship between AR and MR.